base oil that comes in using rail cars, trucks, barges, and we have different additives that we mix here on site. Different recipes for different oils, different companies, different grades. After they blend the oil, they test it in that lab to make sure that it passes all their quality tests. After that passes, someone running a line orders the fluid that they need. Blending then hooks them up to the proper lines and then gives them a tank hookup card to let them know that they're ready to go. If you're running a line, you then look at your tank hookup card and get on the correct pipeline, make sure you're on the correct tank, make sure that you have the correct fluid, turn it on and basically bring fluid into your line, and then you do a flush because you probably ran a different fluid before, and then you put in another sample into the lab to make sure that you have no contamination in your oil. Blow molding, they're in charge of producing any bottles that we make on site. They have different colors that they have to add in, different resins. All of our bottles are high-density polyethylene. They have different specifications, just like everyone else does here with quality checks. The thickness of the bottles, if they have a view stripe, if they have no view stripe, make sure that the necks are straight and that it will handle a stress test. We make several different products here. We have quart bottles, 1 gallon bottles, 5 quart, 5 liter. We have 5 gallon buckets, 55 gallon drums, clear up to 330 gallon totes that we send out. After everything's okay, then you start running, let's say, quart bottles. We have 36 rotating heads on a filler, and it goes quite fast. After they leave the filler, they go down the line. They have a marking put on them with a Julian date and a batch code, which every new fluid here has its own batch code. After it goes down the line, it comes back around and goes through a labeling process, which has a head on each side of it, putting on a front and a rear label. After they leave the labeler, they go through a camera system. 4 different cameras checking different parts of a bottle. You set this up differently for every product, and if anything is wrong at all, if the cameras detect something that is not correct, it'll automatically be kicked off. Another line of defense in our quality. After everything's okay and it goes past the DALSA system or the camera setup, it then goes into a laner, which separates the bottles into different lanes, whether it be 3 lanes or 4 lanes, depending upon whether it's 12 packs or 6 packs. And then it goes into a drop packer. The drop packer automatically pulls the certain number of bottles up you needed for whichever one, gently drops them into boxes, sends them out the other side, and then they go through another camera system which checks quality, makes sure that we have the correct bottle color, cap color, the correct amount of bottles. If it's all right, then it goes on through what we call a top sealer, which basically just glues and folds the flaps down, and then on through to another Markham, which puts the batch code on it and the Julian date and any other information needed. And then it heads on up an incline out to another machine called an automatic palletizer, which you put in the correct pattern number that you want, you put in the correct skid that you want, and the different layers that you want, and it will palletize the boxes for you. It exits the palletizer and then goes down another set of conveyors, and it goes into an automatic wrapper. So you really don't have to touch it unless there's a problem with it, which of course you have to stop and correct that. And then you have different Kanbans, as we call them, but they're like tags for a finished product. We scan them in, attach them to the outside of a pallet, take them down to a dock, scan them into the system, put them into your computer system on your forklift, and you're done. Well, whenever we get in different componentry from different vendors, let's say bottles, cartons, pallets, it can be any container that we use. They come into the receiving department. These people, of course, verify on a bill of materials that we got in the proper amount and the proper product that we need. They then put them in location, verify on the computer that we got them, that we have the correct amount, and then it's good for packaging to pick up, to take to the lines whenever we need that component. Forklift operators or material handlers in packaging, the operator When he orders componentry to the line from the bill of materials, the forklift operator or material handler can see this information on the screen, and he can put an X and click on that particular product, and it will tell him where this product is in the warehouse, and will tell him how much of that product is supposed to be in that location. He then goes down to that location, removes what he needs, puts in the correct number that he needs. That way our inventory should stay where it should be. We also have a shipping department, which they mainly handle our finished goods. After everything is all packaged up nice and neatly, the way it's supposed to be, these people have pick orders, and they run around for different customers and pick what they need for this order, and again, putting this information into their computer, what is outgoing. That way we keep accurate inventory needs. They may have multiple trucks in a day. They may just be picking up several pallets at once and loading them on a truck. Or sometimes they have smaller orders where they actually have to put 3 boxes of this on a pallet and then 10 boxes of this on a pallet. Different products. It's just whatever the customer needs, that's what we do. And they are pretty much our last line of defense in quality. Making sure that we have no leakers, for whatever reason. Make sure we have no damaged product. Make sure it looks good before it goes out the door to the customer.